I'm going to be the voice of all the mothers in the Twin Cities who did not have a voice, who also went through these no-knock warrants, and the media and nobody reported about it. His name was Amir Locke. He loved the youth, wanted to save the youth, and we gonna save the rest of the youth.
Amir Locke was a legal gun owner with no criminal record, and yet he was shot and killed by Minneapolis police who say they feared for their safety while raiding the apartment where Locke was sleeping. Body cam footage shows that Locke was shot less than 10 seconds after police burst in, rousing him from where he was sleeping under a blanket on the couch with a gun in his hand. It's his gun that police are using to justify his death. Another clear example that the Second Amendment's right to keep and bear arms just doesn't seem to apply to Black Americans. And let's be frank, we pretty much know the race of a person involved in a police shooting by whether they're alive or dead. Joining me now, civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who's representing the family of Amir Locke, and Senior Vice President of Government Affairs at the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, Rob Doar. Ben, Rob, thank you both very, very much for coming to the Sunday show. But let me start with you, because I wanted to bring you on because your group put out a statement on Amir Locke's death that he should be alive right now. We don't always see gun rights groups speaking out when Black gun owners are killed. Tell us why it was important for you to speak out.
Well, I think it was important to speak out because what we saw was that Amir Locke could have been any law-abiding gun owner on the other side of a no-knock raid. And this is consistent with our organization. We also issued statements in support of Philando Castile, another lawful permit to carry holder who was shot by police. And so I think it's important for us organizationally to remain consistent that we are defending all law-abiding gun owners, regardless of race, creed, ideology, or anything other than their right to bear arms.
And that's such an incredible message, Rob. Why don't you think, in an incredible stance, why don't you think that the NRA does the same thing?
I can't speak for the NRA. I just know that our members know the integrity that we have around the issue, and they expect us to stand up for law-abiding gun owners. And essentially, which is a scenario that so many NRA members and gun owners all over the country allegedly foresee, that government agents could enter their home to take their firearms. And yet when it's a young African-American man, there seems to be a lot of hesitation about defending his right to bear arms in the wake of a tragedy.
Attorney Crump, the search warrant applications were unsealed this week, and we now know that police said they needed a no-knock warrant because they feared for their own safety. What is your response to that?
Well, Jonathan, first I would like to thank Rob and the Minnesota Gun Caucus for acknowledging that African Americans have a right to the Second Amendment as well. And Amir Locke and Philando Castile were licensed gun permit owners, and it makes no sense why you haven't heard anything from the NRA on this very important Second Amendment right. When I look at that probable cause for these no-knock warrants, it's troubling because Attorney Jeff Storms, Attorney Tony Ramanucci, my co-counsels and I, we studied this matter, and we cannot believe that they asked for a nighttime service on a no-knock warrant in the city of Minneapolis after the mayor had campaigned that they had banned no-knock warrants. And what we know, Jonathan Capehart, is no-knock warrants in themselves are dangerous, but the very most dangerous no-knock warrant is to serve it at night or in the wee hours of the morning when it is foreseeable that people will be sleeping. And you have this hypothetical where a homeowner who has a right to the Second Amendment thinks somebody is breaking into his home and he has a right to defend himself and his castle, exactly as Amir had every right to do.
And you know, Ben, the thing that is most troubling here and that gets lost in the coverage in discussing the no-knock warrant, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Amir Locke was not the subject of this no-knock warrant.
Precisely, and that's what's really troubling. we would think during Black History Month that we would be talking about history and try to understand the importance of history so we don't make the same mistakes we made in the future that we made in the past. Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky, this unjustifiable no-knock warrant that left her body mutilated with 9 bullets while she was practically naked. Afterwards, the Louisville Courier-Journal newspaper did a study, Jonathan, and they found 2 years prior, they had 82% of all the no-knock warrants were served and executed on African Americans, and 68% of them found absolutely nothing. So what you had is Black people, Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures being violated over and over again. These no-knock warrants should be abolished because they're being executed disproportionately, and they're dangerous not only for the citizens, but they're very dangerous for the officers as well, Jonathan.
And Rob, I want to get your position here. What is the stance of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus on no-knock warrants, if you have one?
I think our stance is that we need to take a hard look at whether no-knock warrants are a viable strategy when you have a lawfully armed citizenry. Because on the other end of any door, over 40% of homes in Minnesota have a firearm in them. On the other side of any door could be a law-abiding gun owner who's going to perceive that intrusion as a threat against their safety. That is not a good position to put officers in, and it's not a good position to put the individual citizens in. The city of St. Paul, right across the river from Minneapolis, we call them the Twin Cities, they butt up right next to each other, has managed to do their job without a no-knock warrant in over 5 years. There are clearly strategies out there that will keep lawful gun owners safe in their homes while respecting the rights of the individuals inside there and making sure that officers are able to be safe.
Rob Doar, thank you for coming to the Sunday show and also for your consistency. Benjamin Crump, as always, thank you for coming to the Sunday show.